Okay, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm ready. I'm ready for everybody. When life interrupts work, life takes over. And that's what's been happening. How are we doing? I need a shout out to the chat. And let's get it. Let's go live here, everyone. And I'm getting set up. I'm on the road here. Henceforth, the problems, but we got them worked out. I think we have good audio. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's up, Snipes? Lex, Kevin, Lodak, David. What's going on, everybody? Hello, Miss Stephanie. I made it. Welcome, everybody. We're back. How are we sounding? How's everyone else doing? Appreciate it. Argo, thank you. Victoria, thank you. Thank you for coming. Excellent. Stephanie, how am I doing? Oh, we got good sound, good visuals, great markets. Welcome. Yeah, yesterday was a little frustrating. So, a couple situations, everyone that likes to leave their taxes to the last minute, like me, make that payment as late as possible. Well, sometimes you run into a couple of issues. Not a very good idea. But since I titled yesterday "Net of Tax," I deleted yesterday's session because it was really bad. But got to be thinking about those taxes, people. I think I might be doing something dedicated to that to share with you some of the things I've learned, especially about crypto, that, you need to be aware of taxes. Do not forget your taxes, folks. So not that I forgot, but crypto is a strange creature when it comes to taxes, excessive reporting, and, just had to deal with that. So lucky to have that problem, quite frankly. Well, Bitcoin, what are we doing? It's going to be a long summer, quite frankly, folks. A lot of chop, a lot of extended reversal action, and I think this is just more of what we're going to see this summer. Personally, I'm kind of feeling that it's a good time to take a little bit of time, but I never, with me in the markets, it's never a day off. It's a life. This is not a job, folks. This is a life. And that's why we do what we do. So, you got to get a little break. I try to find a little break, and then I just find myself itching. So, we're at the HSI signal on Bitcoin, and absolutely want to be just continue to look for the triggers in the zones, because I think that we have a lot of chop that's going to essentially smother these markets until we can get clarity. This is the malaise I've been talking about that will continue. So, what we're looking for Bitcoin, let's just do the crypto rundown. That we're in a type 1 reaction after the trigger. We never got a trigger. Remember that Gartley I was looking at and saying, that might be pretty good at 43? Never got a trigger. The trigger, Harmonic Strength Index, would be really nice if we had that. Let me bring that back. Was accompanied by amplified RSI. Look, green line stops there and an HSI arrow. So that's a little better position than what we were dealing with maybe 2-3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And we're in a type 1 reaction. That's it. 42,656. Target 1, level 1. Interesting thing on the daily, though. I'll bring up HSI. We have our HSI arrow. So we have moved in not so much of a distance of triggering HSI. And this is at least a very good sign that this consolidation phase is over. Not to mention, this is something with specifically HSI, Harmonic Strength Index. That is our proprietary indicator. This stuff matters, folks. Maybe, and I know there's a lot of people that have been working with the program for a while, and I think there's some relationships that are kind of proving themselves on a longer term level as material, important, significant. We have our first HSI signal way back in late January, retest in late February, and now successively higher HSI signals. That's something where, from a constructive consolidation phase, really important. That helps tremendously. And I will just go back to where we were as we approached the top, okay? Where successive HSIs that are uh, in a trending direction, as we had back up here on the bearish side, we had HSI signal there on the top end, and that was not confirmed until we had a secondary low. So secondary low on HSI came much later, but was significant for what we were dealing with. So absolutely, with these kind of developments, um, they don't always come in the ideal spot, 1-2 spot, but we absolutely want to respect it when it does. And it's coming at a really nice point where we can absolutely start to anticipate something larger if we can hold current lows and make development up above these resistance highs. So we've been looking for that pullback since 47, and then I was saying 43, 42. Okay, we poked down to 39, 38 and change. It's not really that much a difference. It's more of simply time over price. And I've been saying that for a while. Also, I think this is an altcoin market for speculation, not necessarily Bitcoin's market just yet. Couple of shout outs to everybody in the chat. How's everyone doing? Um, Thank you, Omkar. Read the books, track the patterns, and the TradingView software is amazing. Yes, it is, and it's really, I think, the identification tool that gives you a standardized method to recognize the levels with HSI and the other strategies that we employ to really determine where the actionable spots are. That's the key. I looked at that last week when we did that harmonic pattern workout, and I strongly suggest everyone review last week's session. For those that want to get with us, especially I see some people that are saying that they're new here, welcome. And again, go to harmonictrader.com, become a basic member. It's free. Just click the sign up here, go on your homepage, harmonictrader.com, and you're in business. Register now, and then everything that you need to get started, if you're new, is here. And that's important because there is a learning curve, folks, and I embrace that learning curve to get everyone started for free. And I personally, for me, 14 days, maybe 10 days. We should cut down that trial to 10 days, but for the software, because I don't think it takes more than a week for them people to see that we've got, these levels are responding left and right, and then it's just a matter of looking at the proper sequences for confirmation that really build out the whole framework. So to get that free TradingView license for 14 days, send your information, your TradingView username, to our support, hpc@sr-analyst.com. And if you want another trial, send it, and we'll take care of you. So absolutely. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. David's put up a great comment of, listen, harmonic patterns are quite popular. Most people actually don't know that it came from my books. There are no, listen, there are people that are doing it, and there's people doing great work with it, like Mitch Ray TA, probably doing the best harmonic pattern work, integrated with other technical methods that I find extremely useful and educational for those that are new. I focus on harmonic patterns exclusively, but all of the information you need is available in these books. So thank you. And, again, we stick to the framework. That's the critical part. Volume 3, again, I think is for everyone that's really new. You want to get the primer with the complete methodology. You go to Volume 3 just click on that link, and review everything that's there. Review the patterns, and if this can ever pop up, all that information's there as a primer. This is your Volume 3 PDF. Check that out. Also, Harmonic Pattern Collection, that is, thank you, Snipes. Appreciate you guys giving me that support of resource links. And then we've got the Discord and we've got the Facebook pages, but we'll do that Thursday. I'll get into that a little more Thursday. So, Bitcoin, okay, back in business again for another little swing up. We are in what a lot of standard technicians would call a running correction, which is okay. And I would still say that the fact that we're to the right of that downtrend really helps the situation. Let's take a look at total crypto market cap. And then we're going to look at a couple of opportunities that against these daily patterns are proving themselves to set up again. It's important to understand where we are, okay? Total crypto market cap got rejected off of the deep crab, target one, which we said could happen. You know, it at 2.1 trillion. Okay, 2.1 trillion was the major level one, and I've got to highlight this for a second. You know what? I want to do it this way. There you go. Excellent. So here's the levels. So 2.09 exactly, rejection. Now, one of the good things about it is the fact that we had a harmonic strength index trigger, this red arrow. All right, that corresponded with your target one level. So not surprised to see this reaction come back. And here's the kind of tricky deal. All right, to complete the type 2, we have to hit that level at XA. Now, XA level is 1.71, 1.72 with an HSI signal. I think some of these other ones slightly different, where some of these others had bearish patterns that preceded this little corrective move that are completing their type 1 corrections, reactions. And even on other crypto market caps, we're still looking for that XA retest. But it's close. It's quite close, and I definitely want everyone to get your ears up, radar on the radar screen, and get ready for a possible type 2 completion that could really set us off for the summer. I'm still looking for a big candle month. It might be next month. I'm thinking maybe it was possibly could have been April. I think it's going to be maybe May. Let's look at a couple. Luna, big correction. Big correction off the all-time high, but again, we're right back down, swift, reactive move. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, again, just kind of consolidate up at these higher levels for a while, and before it continues its move. I mean, if I was looking at that as any tech stock or what have you, I would say that is a fantastic long-term uptrend. Notice that we're doing a bullish engulfing on the weekly with this rebound. That's the kind of thing that can start a larger continuation move. Let's keep our eyes on this stuff. It's listen, this can be very frustrating. It can be, we're looking for movement when you're in a consolidation phase, and that's just something where the market's simply not ready. We're ready. We've been ready for crypto to run. But one of the biggest challenges that I have found with trading in general is personal realization that are you ready to trade the market when it's ready to be traded? Now, we can trade swing moves. I've been talking about how this market is going to be reaction to reaction. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing in crude oil. Ghazi, you're correct, right? Crude's back at 100. We'll look at that in a minute. But they're reactive. They're strong reactive moves. How about natural gas, folks? Right? Natural gas, beautiful. But we were looking to sell into that on Thursday. I'll get to that in a second. But that's where we are, crypto and the markets in general, consolidation phases across the board. But that's going to end. Maybe it ends in a month, maybe it ends in 3 months. I am looking forward now out to the next 3 to 6 month time frame for this major change in the malaise. The malaise really started last November, December. The technical malaise of stagnating equity prices and crude oil and other markets just taking over. But now we need to be aware of that. And I've been saying that over and over again, that the big 886s and our big retraces here on stuff like, look at LRC, okay? Just consolidating at a 4-hour crab. The daily time frame is even better. And again, these are just about more time than anything else. Here's the thing, and I'm going to look at one or two more of the altcoins that are doing the same thing. That I feel that anyone that has the software, okay, we can capitalize on the reactions from these levels. For LRC, look what we've done. This is the third test of the XA level at around 88. Not that this thing is going to explode right off yet, but we can capitalize on what I feel another surge reaction. The first one, that was the kind of a dud back here in January, went up, but again, did sideways, bring in our 30 bar rule, if you will. Okay, 30 bar rule says tighten stops as soon as you get past 30 bars. Well, this is 30 bars, like this. And from a management perspective, let me fix that. From a management perspective, if you see something, a reaction off of a harmonic pattern go sideways, okay, you can scratch and go again. That's the beautiful thing about the patterns, is that we can put ourselves in the right spots for the reactions. But beyond that, there you go. There's 30 bars right there, post completion. Tell me what it's doing. What is it doing at the XA level within that window? If it's a dud, so be it. Scratch it, look for the next trigger, which we did get. So for LRC, you know, that lower trigger is as low as 73.74, with XA level though at XA level is 92 on the daily. Also, we have amplified RSI trying to register another oversold signal. So, you know, get ready, because that would be the secondary trigger, if you will. We're just looking for triggers inside of these larger zones. Let me bring up HSI. There you go. Also, I think I've gotten a lot of feedback about the new HSI update. So we fixed the time signal and the standard calculability of the indicator, which has absolutely improved the overall readings of what we needed to see here. And we did get an HSI reading. I don't know why the arrow is not showing up, but we got a trigger on LRC. So LRC and a lot of the other altcoins are back in business, where you, again, off of these longer term levels, we want to be hitting the retests. Let me go to Ethereum really quick. Ethereum, a little bit different with Ethereum and some of these that have clear back-to-back patterns, which is another concept we discussed last week of why are they so significant. We want to respect that phenomenon of back-to-backs, and we have a perfect type 2. All right, because here's Ethereum off of that crab pattern. XA level was 24.49. Beautiful reaction up to target 1. Comes back for the retest. Now, this is where it can be a little confusing, but if we just apply framework rules, we see where we are. We know type 2s like to go to target to 38.87, is still in the books. But we developed the butterfly right off the low that, at right above target 1 gave us HSI type 1 reaction. Now I'm just looking for another HSI signal, which we got at around 20, what was that, 29? 29.50, folks. 29.50 on that. So we are in a great spot on Ethereum to essentially come back. Let's be super conservative within harmonic pattern framework and just say, all right, if we're going to come back and we have to retest, let's say we knew something devastating that was going to come to the crypto market, I would still follow the framework of saying we have to complete in here, which we did, and then come back and retest that zone no matter what. I'm having a little issue with sticky buttons. There you go. So XA level 35.50 on Ethereum, I don't think is a stretch. And let's use that as kind of target for the end of the month. Already the 19th, incredible. 10 days left in the month, and we get into May. Ethereum's another chart where the weekly time frame, again, doesn't seem like a heck of a lot, but let me bring that back up. Weekly, come on back, weekly. There you go. This is where the development of a larger structure can be taking shape. We're trying to make another low like Bitcoin to then flex again. Here's something that if we just connect dots, apply MW logic to movements, we're looking for something like this in Ethereum. Again, let's be super conservative. The minimum connected dots, if that's your X to A level, B point on this swing got you to 54%. So that sets up a bat pattern where if we can generate a C, which you did a 50% correction already, amazing. You've corrected 50% off of that first thrust, sets you up where we can look for another 886 to 45.75. That's the thought process, but look, this could go all summer to achieve that target. So we're in a consolidation phase, which is a totally different creature than massive price discovery breakout. Still looking good though. One or two more that are, I think, to look at that setting up for that retest. Again, here's that Ren, another level 2 like LRC. Go to the daily time frame on this. Remember these big patterns? All right, big patterns on the daily. The butterfly is down here at XA levels, 32 cents. And we got HSI arrow yesterday. These are deeply oversold too. So I think it explains why it's taking more time. But the thing to consider, remember what I was talking about with Bitcoin, and now we're starting to see it on other altcoins, is a rising multiple HSI. Look, there's HSI. That's your lowest. This one, okay, was exceeded. But remember, when you have a rising HSI like you had here, that's an important development. You have successive bullish higher HSIs. So that's, again, early, taking time, and still don't be surprised if we just get another reactive move as this thing zigzags, stair steps its way. Like that last reaction, there was a quick zag again. This could be a zig up, a zag back down, stair step your way, but still target 1 is 66 cents, 66.50. I think these crypto are taking more time. They're slightly different creature than they say stocks or commodities, but still okay. We can bounce from trigger to trigger. Look, HSI and amplified RSI are confirming that oversold condition. So I like it. I think we just have to stay the course here and continue to look for these corrective pullbacks and be prepared to manage them aggressively. We are still in reaction phase on all of these. Here's Solana, folks. Another stretch out on the daily. It's really nice that these are on the daily. Solana got down to 90 again, 100, 90, 96. XA level on that is at 94.59. But we did have HSI that triggered. I gotta see why that's not popping up. That arrow should be popping up. So be aware that this could do another thrust, but I'm still looking for target 1 at 156. And that's a huge move. I don't think we can expect more than these type 1 reactions until they really get this larger consolidation resolved in the likes of Bitcoin and such. What's going on? Hey, everybody. Chamber 8. Can you check Boyle? Absolutely. Harmoniholic. I like it. What's going on? How are you? Grace Foundation. There's a Gartley pattern on the daily weekly on M. Is that Macy's? Or M? Well, I can't. This is where I need to go get glasses. Yeah, M or MIS. I don't know. I'll look at that. I'll go to stocks in a minute, folks. Chamber 8, I'll look at Boyle as well. Natural gas. Sure. What's up, Crypto Hoarder? How are you today? Welcome, everybody. We are here 3 times a week if I can get a connection and have a good microphone. Today is Tuesday, March 19th, and again, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm on the West Coast, and boy, I haven't been on here in a few years, and this time zone is a killer. It is, just everything starts at 6 a.m. out here. So, and I don't necessarily start at 6 a.m. every day. So, we'll get it there. Sometimes I start at 3, but I either get up super early or kind of late. But you got it. The other one, let's go to Zcash. I wanted to bring this up. Zcash did this crazy move. And we got it was a week or two ago, I left you folks with looking for a reactive move off of 165. And it bursted up and then came back down. And we talked about that. It was probably a week or two ago. We're still there. Zcash had this bearish pattern, Gartley here. All right, but it's just a reaction. And for a lot of these that folks are seeing these bearish patterns, ugly. I mean, it's really kind of a sloppy Gartley where there's your completion, but it's showing as kind of flawed despite the fact that you came down. My whole point is, even if this thing gets sloppy, I'm only looking for that. I wouldn't expect that to exceed the 130 target 1 level. It is just taking time where it's actually good that it failed the pattern. You've been preceded as well. We had, what was it, alternate bat? We had an alternate bat on the daily on a different feed. Yeah, here's Zcash even now with this crab pattern. This is a perfect type 1 reaction, but I will have to highlight the fact that this is reaction's probably over. You came down to 141. It did the same thing it did at 165. Hard pop up for 15, 20 bucks. Hit your HSI and come right back down. 141. So let's look for that. That's a good one. That's a good one because it's reaction. That's okay. We know it needs time. We'll look for that to come back down. One other one is like this YFI, or Urine Finance YFI. What do we have down here? We have Shark. We had a Shark on the retest, but look, check out the big bat. This is another one where your back-to-back situation is critical. And I still like this anywhere at 20,000 or a touch under 20,000. I think this is just going to take more time and eventually get to target one at 2780, 825. You also have this prior alternate bat all the way up at the prior high. Someday we'll probably get back there. I'm just focused on the reactions down here. Get me to target one. Use that as an example across the board for a lot of these that are doing that. Like my last one, XRP, folks. I've received a number of emails on XRP. Again, XRP is fine. XRP is about time, not price. And again, we've got XA off of this massive Gartley. Your XA level had 1-2 retests at 55 cents on the weekly. I still say that this is in a type 2 where eventually we're targeting the target 2 level. But it's just going to take weeks, if not months, to make progress out of the zone. That's the only deal with XRP. I wouldn't worry about it. This is where you're going to have to earn the crypto, in my opinion. This is where we have to navigate through these consolidation phases to realize that you're buying at a low point, massive discount, especially with the patterns behind us, to get to target 1, to get to target 2, doing a 50 to 100% move in the process. So that's all of that is, setting up where position down here for that larger move. One more, you're asking for SHIB. Somebody's asking for SHIB. And I thought that would be another example of daily patterns, just kind of trying to put a floor. SHIB is not one that I'm particularly fond of. I just think it's just pure speculation. And SHIB doesn't have Elon Musk like Doge. And that's the only reason I said this about Doge. That Doge is just another speculative play with the richest man on the planet behind it. But Doge is back here at your Shark XA at 886, 13.6 cents. It's finding a floor. So, that's how it's a great example of the retest of those XA levels. Developing, hammering out support. Someone's asking for Cardano, and probably the most disappointing crypto there is. I think Cardano, for all that it's supposed to promise, makes SHIB look like a champ. But we had back-to-back pattern situations. We had the hop level down here at 72. That has to be the low. Can't stress that enough, that if you violate that 72, 73 cents, you're going to have major long-term problems in Cardano. But we are at that point where you've done a type 1 off of this bat pattern to retest this ugly larger zone. And now I want to look for a reversal, not off that 70 cents, but off of this target 2 level around 95. You have to pivot here. Cardano cannot break down here. So again, a lot to consider. I think there's better, more speculative investments. Cardano is just speculation. I don't differentiate Cardano from Doge because you need money flow. I actually think you're going to have a better chance of getting money flow into Doge than Cardano. So let's keep an eye on that. I want to jump over quickly, folks, to the energy sector and a couple of stocks. On Thursday or Tuesday. When was it? Sorry, Thursday. We talked about nat gas. We talked about Boyle. And, I've been saying Boyle's been a tricky one. Some people they held on all the way down to the ride off of that correction from October. But check our sessions. I still said we'd get back and retest that and then some, which we did. And then Thursday, I was saying, look, we're at this 886. Looks like this. off the pure X to A level like that. So Boyle did hit the bat pattern up at the 886, had a massive day yesterday. There's your bat right there. Bat's actually a little bit lower. And again, looking to take profits into that. Looking to take profits into that. There's a question. That's a good question. Why is the X point of the bat pattern that is appeared in Bitcoin not set to the lowest point? Because where is your true harmonic? I think a lot of people have learned to measure high to low, which is a great way standard to go. But what I call the true harmonic levels, okay, all deal with where your X, A, B, C, D line up, where those components. That involves your B point, that involves your A, B, C, D levels to dictate the optimal, ideal, true harmonic level. Let me just remove all of these drawings and we can look at Boyle because it's the same on every market. Look, we're tracing out this crab pattern on Boyle off of this crazy intermediate low. Well, that's because of how the X, A, B, C, D line up with your B point, your C point, your 1618 A, B, C, D optimization. Again, this is a lot of stuff that's just been built into the program where you see it. You go with those formations that give you the terminal bar and then confirmation. I still say this is just reactive, a reaction in Boyle. That's going to set us up, type 1 correction, for another pullback. Again, we're looking for, with confirmation, that you see it here. Like here is a great example of that Gartley. That was a 4-hour. There was a bat pattern. I think it was Nat Gas itself. I'll go to Nat Gas in a second to explain that. But where the true harmonic levels were lining up with all of these and having some overbought conditions, that's why the software generates it in that regard. And if you're not responding to those true harmonic levels, something larger is unfolding. Let me bring up Nat Gas really quick and go a couple more, folks, a couple more commodity sectors. But look, Nat Gas was up huge yesterday and slammed back down. This one, your B point closer to the 618 than the exact high or low. Just setting up all of these levels where at $8, okay, that's a reaction. Let me show, same with here's the bullish bat that I wanted to reference. Why is it a bullish bat here at this level? Again, where does your B point line up? What are your XA possibilities with the extended A to B, C to D? And that's what the software does. That's why you get the software, because you're not going to be able to calculate all of those levels. There's X to A, B point comes in within the ideal range, about 53%. C point within our tolerance. Even the C point has to be at a tolerance level, really can't exceed the 946, or doesn't go past the 886 much. And then your 886 off of that swing around 390. So this has been a market we've been in front of on both the upside and downside. I'm looking for this to do sharp reaction. You're trading 709. This thing could come back to $6 as we continue to stair step. Come back down. Nat Gas is volatile, but we're going to look for the next move again after this reaction is over. Recall the weekly chart on Nat Gas continues to make progress. It's going to be a slow market, but we're going to work our way up to get back to these higher levels eventually. If that's $12 to $14, that's the plan. Expecting reactions along the way. That's it. Keep an eye on those. Crude oil, same deal. I'll pull up UK oil. Okay, down $5 today. All right. after being up strong yesterday, this is definition of chop. And I do believe that this is going to continue to be choppy as we consolidate off of the all-time 886s that we hit. We hit it on a lot of markets. We hit light sweet crude, Brent, just major retests of all-time levels. It looks like this. This is the Brent crude. This is that European dirty crude. There's 886, right there. 133. So we continue to be in a pause where, look, 382 level, I think we have to start thinking that this pause could be a little bit more. I know that sounds crazy, but from a harmonic pattern perspective, a 38.2% retrace or even minimum 236 move. Your 236 move is where you're at right now at 105. You break under 105 on there or light sweet. Let me clean this up. Let me bring up the light sweet chart. Yeah. Same deal. There you go. Light sweet is that 382. Sorry, that 236. 236 is not a number I use a lot. I usually say that a 382, 38.2% retracement is a minimum harmonic level to be able to form a pattern. But if you want to go there, that would put you all the way back at 67, 68 bucks. I don't see that. But your 236, which is common, 90, 10 bucks lower, I could see that. Where we're still stair stepping. It's just going to take more time. All right, let's go to Nasdaq. What's going on there? I'll get into some of those stocks in a second. Nasdaq, again, another market just super zigzag. Now up 230. By the way, yes, this is delayed data on this NQ futures chart, just to let you know. But we're back down here, 14,000. We're trying to stabilize. We know the deal. We know that we're sitting this crab pattern that is not showing up. The potential was not tested. It's 12.8. 12.8 is the big number, folks. A couple days ago, it looked like it was going to happen in a heartbeat, but it's just it's the 1618 of the October move. Looks like this. 1618 on 12.7, 12.8. And we're going to probably continue this consolidation, up 1 day, down 3 days, zigzag. So it's a trader's market for sure. I don't expect any major trend continuations. If anything, I would love to see this thing wash out, hit that 1618 to give us structural resolution of the correction, but it's not there yet. It's simply not there. Some of those tech stocks that we have looked at are back in their zones. Here's one that I think is a great one, and it's very early in development stage, is Zoom. Look at this fat bat pattern. I mean, that's the kind of thing you want. I did review this last week and trying to highlight the fact that, yes, just because there's a big bat pattern doesn't mean we automatically jump. You're going to have plenty of time, and I still say that. And I was saying that when the thing was popping to 122. Now we look for it to come back. Give me a trigger. Here is, right there. There's your completion point on Zoom at 122. And we are, how many days now? How many bars? Not days, weeks. So highlight your 30 bar level. All right. That gets you to right there, where we could be in this consolidation phase a 30-week time frame to get up to target one minimum. I think that is pretty much a good target to look at into the rest of the summer and go to into the fall. So, can you see the recent tweet? Kyle is asking about Nasdaq. Go back to March, my friend. It's all on Twitter. Yeah, look at that. Listen. We talked about that. We talked about why Nasdaq was setting up, but failed just shy. And I still say it will take more time. Will we get down to 12.8? That would be a great harmonic phenomenon if we do, where that could be the structural end of the correction. We see it in things like Zoom. We see it in some of those other top Nasdaq stocks that have been getting crushed. Someone mentioned Netflix. I agree. Here's Netflix on the daily, not weekly, depending on where you are. What's Netflix was a shark. Netflix is a shark. I don't have the shark on this one, but it looks like this. I can trace it out. Netflix is like kind of like this. Connecting dots. X A B up to C. Come down. Now there's a 1618 I can sink my teeth into. And your 886, you're right there now. 886 is around 340, 335. And you have a shark formation off of last year's low. So this is where we start looking. This is where we start looking for this end of the correction. We have a HSI trigger. Excellent. Still early. And that's a weekly chart. One of the things that is happening with a lot of these oversold conditions, Meta, Facebook is another one. We're just coming out of our amplified RSI zone now. We tried last week, 2 weeks ago, couldn't get there. This is in a better spot. Take a look at our amplified. This is just the amplified RSI formation on Netflix on a weekly. And we can do the same thing here of, all right, trace out what happened. Oh, I went to daily. Here's weekly. Weekly. And weekly is more significant. Just going to take more time. But again, you get the W formation, that's complex. Great. We had a thrust, one attempt to get out of that zone. This is the other thing about amplified RSI. You need to be out of that zone to really confirm it. And we couldn't clear above that 30 level. Now you're coming back, forming another higher low. We break out above 32, 33 on that amplified reading. That should be the trigger that gets you to the 50 level and gets you out of this hole in a type 1 reaction. Look, Netflix, it's tough to see, but I think this is a deep oversold opportunity. It's just going to take time. Here's another one that I personally, I'm finding myself recently not wanting to trade certain vehicles for personal concerns. Facebook would be one of them. I mean, I'm just, whatever. I shouldn't be like that because check out what's going on. Deep crab that's been generated on the software. But another situation where your trigger is here at around $200, okay, with the hop level, and did nothing on that original move. You run into a bearish HSI. Then yesterday we triggered. You've got earnings coming up. You're triggering today. You got earnings coming up in a week? The 28th? Folks, I have to think that this is a perfect example of a pattern preceding earnings that you want to play that move for, what it is, type 1 reaction with confirmation, finally. We'll see how that confirms by 4 o'clock today because it's actually triggering today. but I would look for 280 just in a bear market bounce, reactive move, but they can be strong like that. And look at our other indicators. Okay, HSI popped out, amplified. I wish that would have hit, retested. Not quite, but let's keep an eye on this because the way that's coming together puts you in a nice spot where we could see a reactive bounce. I would like to have a check back by Thursday. Let's look at that on Thursday because maybe we pop, come back, and hit that 200 level one more time. That might be your last retest. Let's stay with it. One or two more. So here's the other Apple, of course. And actually there are only a handful of the big cap stocks holding up this market. Apple on the daily is type 2 bat pattern in development. Look, we've had a very interesting daily chart where we know that we had the crab up here with the hop level at 175, clear long-term resistance. But what happened in the type 1 reaction? All right, we almost got to target 1. Had we hit target 1 with this bullish pattern, I would have said this is a potential big move. But we didn't. We're going sideways. Again, more consolidation, but quick reaction, run right into a bearish HSI, retest the hop level. I think Apple acting super strong. You are not even 5% off of all-time new highs, but we will stair step. We will probably come back. I would think, can we get back to XA at 151? Is today a one-day phenomenon? That's what you should be asking yourself by tomorrow. Let's see how that shapes up. But Apple and then, of course, Amazon, these are, your two big caps that are holding up the market with bullish daily patterns behind them. I think Amazon's a weekly. But Amazon did the type 2. It was perfect. There's type 1. Comes back down for the type 2 return. Hits terminal bar and triggers. That's your ideal scenario. But did not do anything. It is a reversal because we got up to target 2. But we hit an HSI. We hit target 2 and could not go through. All of those are signs of end of the move, end of the reversal move, end of reaction move. And then how do you play that move? Well, expect, especially for these type 2 situations, more consolidation. You come back, we need another HSI, which we got. And again, the stair-step process continues. Keep an eye on Amazon because that didn't do anything. That's the crazy thing about the Amazon situation during COVID. It went sideways. You're basically where you were when COVID hit. No, COVID hit was here. COVID low is there. Sorry, my fault. But you haven't broken out to new highs like Microsoft or Apple. My fault. No, I really meant after the first reaction there. Sure, I'll look at Adobe because that's another one of the big ones. And yes, there's a big pattern there. I think these daily, weekly patterns are strong. And you want to favor those situations that have the patterns, of course, especially in this environment. Beautiful crab on Adobe. And this one is setting up where your hop level at 397, trying to put a floor, $400, HSI signal around 415. But this is another one, you're already past earnings. Earnings were last month, and nothing on that. But I'll keep an eye on Adobe. Great pattern. I would like to see HSI come down a little bit more. That's, again, for these larger moves, larger structures. If they don't trigger, that's okay. But I will just simply bypass that and wait for situations like, here's Applied Materials. I think Applied was on the weekly or daily. Let me see. Oh yeah, Applied Materials is this kind of looping retest of a bat pattern. I think AMD is a better one. Some of the semiconductors that I was shy on back in January, we wanted to start taking a look. AMD, yeah, that came down, but I know there's weekly stuff here. I'll have to come back to that. I don't want to be searching here. Maybe it was Intel. Intel down at 44 or 40. What do we got here? Oh yeah, it's retesting a lot of these past patterns. Intel somewhere under that 46 level, but it still needs time. It still needs time. I think the tech and the kind of action you're seeing back to back is going to be indicative of what we're going to look at all summer. So if you're trading the market, I wouldn't expect more than a few days rally, retest, do it over again, over and over again. Let's jump. I didn't get to gold. Really quick. Let's do gold, and then we'll be back here on Thursday. But gold futures chart actually hit 2,000. And this is similar to a lot of the energy and commodity stocks that did a big surge. Gold did a massive 1618, hit 2068, and then ideal type 1 reaction. 1925 is the number I've been saying to look for another opportunity to come back, retest XA level, if not finally get back up to the hop 2100, 2172. But this is going to take time. Like we saw gold consolidate for 2 years. I don't think it's going to do that because of where we are. We're actually in a pretty strong type 2 return move where 1925 that's going to hold going forward. I would say 2068 again before under 1900. But do know that these are the gold can be slow as a snail. It can, and it's a lot like nat gas where you can get a big up day, 2 days up, and then you're going to have to pay for that, and it comes right back down. I just think there's a lot to be said for these markets in the right positions, and with the bearish patterns that preceded that big move in March that hit 1618s and reacted, where we just need to kind of line up for the return move that, again, can take time. Here's the 4-hour chart. Gold, yeah, ran into a bat pattern. Back-to-back bats. But again, support on gold, 1920, 1925. And I would look for this next pullback as probably your last opportunity before we make a run to all-time new highs. I don't see it stopping. Gold is going to challenge your outlook perspective on a lot of how high this can go. I just think it's going to take more time where we need to establish 2000 as support, not resistance. But we'll get there. We've been on this for a long time. One or two more big cap stocks that I want to highlight, where like Coca-Cola, and on the weekly, look, this is not Coca-Cola on a lot of these, what you call maybe Buffett stocks, safety stocks, is something to note. Okay, Coca-Cola made all-time new highs last week. All-time new highs. That's not really indicative of a market in trouble, in my opinion. That's why I do think there's opportunities here. Yeah, we had that bat pattern on the type 2. We had mentioned that last year. Well, it became a lot more. Another one, we go from KO to MO, Altria, which has been another real big winner for us. Back in November, beautiful Gartley. Look at that Gartley. Around 43. And now we're up to a deep crab, and check this out. It's a tough one to see, but almost a perfect type 2, but we didn't hit it. So this is still type 1 action. We are probably going to scrape the hop level. And look, this is new 52-week highs, multi-year highs. I think we probably will hit some resistance up at that 56 hop level. I have taken some profits. I do want to say this. I've taken some profits in Altria. I love this. I'm still holding a bunch for long term, but I had to take some profits off because I do think the way that the pattern's lining up, that if we get a correction back to that 49 level, that will probably be the low for the massive continuation. I will update this, but again, I'm thinking maybe this summer we do something like that. This is a slower mover, but super strong. Look at our weekly, even. The Gartley shows up on the weekly. It's a massive, that thing's in development in terms of trend development. If we get a pullback, those are going to be huge. That would be a huge opportunity for the next leg. Here's Walmart. Why do we have Walmart futures? Walmart futures, no. Let's look at Walmart. You can say Target, similar. Okay, these are super strong, all-time new highs for Walmart. And let me go to the daily. The daily we had this kind of looping 134, folks. Again, that hop level right there. I think this is interesting because it's an ugly, by far, it's an ugly structure, ugly trading within the Gartley to deep crab, back to the bat. And go, if you've got some time, go back to our sessions from, say, January or December, where we were looking for that retest. We got it. Walmart hitting up to this top level around 157. But the fact that this thing is cracking new all-time highs in an inflationary interest rate environment like we have has to be a sign. We want to keep our eye on the likes of Coke and Walmart because they're super strong. And again, if we're going to stabilize, if we're going to try to form some bottom in the markets in the next 3 to 6 months, which I think we will, these will go a lot higher. These will go a lot higher. We just want to be ready when they pull back again and get them on the pullbacks. Here's Target, which is another massive consumer-oriented play where you're making a run. Let's connect dots. Okay. If we're just going to say what's XA, your B point from just a measurement framework, it's a bat pattern in development that just broke out. And you trigger to what, 260, 258 area. From 244, that's a good move. That's a great move. Hey, Snipes. Yeah, thanks, Snipes. Yeah, Hershey. That's another. And we've been on that. Look at this trend, right? Daily trend. Probably going to hit a little resistance with HSI. You got earnings coming up next week. A lot of earnings. It's going to be an interesting week. You got earnings coming out, especially next week. But Hershey's is at the hop level on a weekly time frame. All right, I'm not longing anything new on Hershey's right now. If anything, I'll look for some overbought signals and look for a pause in here. Not there yet, but still needs more time, folks. I think that a lot of this is, those kind of situations. No, I would prefer to see the type 1 pullback on Hershey's come back to target 1 longer term. I know that's crazy at 167, but we have to watch. This is the area where you watch for an individual bar reversal on Hershey's. It's not quite there yet, but it's been a big mover. I do say Hershey's is like a forever stock at the right price. Altria, forever stock. Coca-Cola, forever stock. Buffett stock, whatever you want to call it. But, just be aware that longer term, these have moved quite a bit. And I'm going to finish up with this one. Clorox was, a safe bet, right, during the pandemic. Like, Clorox, everyone was going to be showering with Clorox, but not quite. Now, Clorox on the downside is getting to a point where I still say Clorox is a forever stock. Absolutely. But we want to get it on these pullbacks. And there you go. We had a couple bearish crab. There was a couple. The Gartley, nada. You had a Gartley way back here, and this is a great one. How can you tell if a pattern's going to fail? Well, if it does nothing within the 30 bars. If you see nothing or you see dud action in that 30 bar window and sideways to lower, that's more indicative of a pattern that's not going to work out that you can scratch on. I'm a little concerned. You got earnings coming up, next week again? Yeah, May 2nd, next Tuesday, we're down here around 122, 125. Yeah, again, I think this is an opportunity maybe later this summer after this COVID correction. But look, that's a massive move, folks. That's incredible. Maybe you come back and retest, or you're under the COVID low. I still, look, that's the kind of forever stock I want to look for on the pullback, long-term uptrend. It's just, they're going to take more time, and you don't expect fireworks. You're really looking for capital preservation in a stock like that. I mean, get 100 shares, get 50 shares, get 10 shares on Robinhood, and just reinvest, like that. But we are against this long-term uptrend, which a lot of them are. And again, on my final point for today, folks, I'm going to wrap it up here, that we are in the midst of major pullbacks across the board. Tech stocks are probably at a point where we haven't seen 60, 80, 90% corrections in a long time. I'll get into more of those on Thursday, but just start to develop a contrarian point of view. Start to be thinking contrarian in the next 3 to 6 months. I know inflation's out of control. Interest rates are spiking. We'll look at those on Thursday, but this is where opportunities start to present themselves, that it will take time, take a lot of time, but we're on the corrective move. I mean, Clorox, again, a lot of people are looking for places to put their money. Clorox is a great stock to do so. I just would look for it at these major retracement levels, like from here, your all-time 50% level, where your 382 level is right there at 148. So you're already at a minimum all-time 382 pullback level, which is a nice spot to be looking for the next multi-year up leg. And this is something I want to do more of as we get closer to our seminar. So quick mention, I'm going to roll it out on Thursday, but just to let everyone know, on the 21st, Saturday the 21st, May, we're doing a harmonic pattern software seminar. It's going to be like the one we did about 15 months ago, but a little more specialized on what defines actionable opportunities, how to, take an automated pattern, and what are the triggers, how do we manage, what are the specific scenarios. So the way to get on that is get the software or become a gold member, and access that information will be available this week on basic members page and the gold members too. But get with this now, please. Everyone that is in here or listening to the program, the software is the place to start. Get the software, get the TradingView software, then check out some of our pro platforms, and then get with the seminar. So if you purchase the program or you sign up as a gold member in the next 30 days, the course will be included, and then other options for those that are already members, we will roll those out by Thursday. So that's what I have for today, folks. Thank you. Until Thursday, we'll be back 11:30, 12 noon. You know me. We'll go get it again. Until then, have a great one. Go get them, as always, and we'll see you on Thursday.